7:13 a.m. Two squad cars in my driveway, bars strobing, the lead officer's hand floating near his belt like I'm some kind of threat. I'm gripping a coffee mug with the Army Corps of Engineers crest, standing on the land I closed on 6 months back, paid outright, deed in hand. And HOA President Vera Kingsley is 40 feet behind, arms folded, smirking under designer shades like she just hit the jackpot. 4 hours earlier, she'd dialed 911, told them there was a dangerous, possibly armed trespasser refusing to leave. Classic swatting tactic, except I'm a 54-year-old vet who only wanted to build a workshop in peace. The morning air smelled like fresh-cut grass in Vera's desperation. What she didn't realize, I had the one document that was about to flip her whole world upside down. What would you do if someone tried to get you hauled off from your own property? Drop a comment. Where are you tuning in from? Let's see how many HOA horror stories are out there. My name's Mason Hollander, 54, divorced, 2 kids in college and med school, 20 years with the Army Corps of Engineers before I launched a civil engineering consultancy here in Tulsa. I'm not the sort who goes hunting for conflict. I've had a lifetime's share of that overseas. 6 months ago, I bought 3.2 acres on the fringe of the Maple Ridge Estate subdivision. The plan was simple: build a workshop, convert the detached garage into a machine shop, have a place where my kids could visit without tripping over their mom's new boyfriend. The property is stunning. A 150-year-old oak owns the front yard. Its limbs creak like an old tall ship when the wind rises. Inside my half-finished shop, the air smells like sawdust and motor oil, and every surface wears a dusting of glittering metal shavings in the afternoon light. Here's the catch. When I purchased this parcel, it sat outside Maple Ridge Estate's HOA lines. I've got a 2018 survey proving it. The boundary ends 200 feet east of my driveway. I triple-checked before signing because I'd heard the horror stories. HOAs finding people for garden gnomes, liens for the wrong mailbox color. Maple Ridge is your standard upper-middle-class suburb. 127 homes built 2015 to 2019. HOA dues at $385 a month, but 6 months ago, right as I closed, the HOA quietly filed with the county to correct boundaries, dragging my land into their jurisdiction without notice. No certified letter, no hearing, just bureaucratic grab and go. That's when I met Vera Kingsley, 49, real estate agent, HOA president for 18 months. Picture someone who wears pastel blazers like armor and says, "Community standards," the way zealots say, "divine will." Her voice has the pitch and warmth of a table saw, biting aluminum. She drives a white Lexus RX, vanity plate HOAQN, because apparently irony is extinct. Stories about Vera travel like folklore. Liens on homes for unapproved garden gnomes, fines for kids' chalk drawings, foreclosures over late fees. I also notice she's chilly with the 3 black families on the block, dismissive of my neighbor, retired Latino machinist Ramon Cortez, and generally treats anyone without a white-collar job like the trespassing on her country club. Week 1 after I moved in, I get a certified letter. The envelope has that waxy official feel. The paper inside smells faintly of cheap toner and entitlement. $2,500 fine for an unapproved structure. My garage, which existed before their HOA, supposedly fell under their claim. I reply by email with my survey, deed, and a legal note from a paralegal buddy. I'm not in your HOA. Week 3. Vera shows up in person. Clipboard, designer shades, photographing my place like she's Sherlock solving a homicide. Threatens a lien, says I'm setting a bad example. I tell her to leave. Week 5. New letter. $5,000 plus $150 in daily penalties. Mentions legal action and foreclosure. I dealt with insurgents in Fallujah who bargained in better faith. My neighbor Ramon brings over beer that night. 60-something thinks the HOA is clowns with clipboards. He says, "They're bleeding you dry, brother. That's the play. Make fighting so expensive you fold." I call Elena Park, local attorney. Sharp, early 40s. I'd helped her mother with a drainage issue for free. She owed me. Boundary annexation without notice. Elena says, "That's not just wrong, Mason, that's fraud." Then there's Travis and Mallory Kent, young couple already staring at $8 grand in fines for a swing set. I realize Vera isn't just gunning for me. She's running a racket on 127 families, so I ignore her letters. I'm legally right. That's when she goes nuclear. She files a police report, claims I'm trespassing on HOA common area, my own driveway, and that I'd verbally threatened her. Pure fiction, which is how I end up with 2 officers in my driveway at 7:13 a.m. while Vera stands back grinning, waiting for me to get cuffed. In that instant, I understand this isn't about dues. Vera is setting me up for something worse. So there I am, 7:13 a.m., 2 cops walking up the drive. The lead is Sergeant Delgado, mid-40s, built solid, hand hovering near his belt. His partner's younger, keyed up, sweeping my place like I'm running a cartel. I stay cool, hands visible, coffee mug in one hand. 2 decades in uniform teach you how to defuse before things go sideways. "Morning, officers," I say. "I'm guessing Vera Kingsley called this in." Delgado nods, flips a notepad. "We got a report of trespass on HOA common property. Also a claim you verbally threatened the HOA president. Your side?" I set my coffee down. "Happy to. But first, can I show you some documents?" I go in slowly, narrating every move, and grab my folder, survey, deed, title, insurance, email chain with Vera, even a dash cam still from week 3 showing her on my property uninvited. I lay it all on the hood of Delgado's cruiser. The metal's still cool from the morning air, and the papers whisper as he flips them page by page. He takes his time, radios something in, checks the survey against the county plat map on his phone. 5 minutes crawl by. Vera's still 40 feet back, arms tight, tension rolling off her like heat on asphalt. Finally, Delgado looks up. "Ma'am," he calls out, "this is a civil dispute, not criminal trespass. Mr. Hollander has documentation showing his boundary. You'll need to handle this through the courts." Her mask slips. She storms forward, heels ticking. "Excuse me, I pay your salary through my taxes, and you're telling me you won't enforce—" Delgado cuts her off, voice flat. "Ma'am, I don't enforce HOA bylaws. If you think he's in breach of a civil contract, hire an attorney." She sputters, spins, and stalks to her Lexus, yanks the door hard enough to test the hinges. She peels out, tires squealing. Burnt rubber hangs in the air for a good 10 seconds. Delgado watches her go, shakes his head, and hands me his card. "Mr. Hollander, off the record, document everything. Every interaction, every letter, every time she shows. I've seen HOAs pull this before. Next time she might embellish more. Protect yourself." I thank him. The cruisers roll away, and I'm standing there realizing Vera just tried to weaponize law enforcement against me. This wasn't about dues anymore. This was about forcing me to submit or bankrupting me with legal costs. I call Elena Park. She picks up on the second ring. I recount what happened. The cops, the false report, Delgado's warning. There's a pause, then, "Mason, she just flirted with malicious prosecution. If she'll lie to police, she'll lie in court. I'm taking your case, pro bono for now." Elena's first move is sharp and fast. She drafts a cease and desist to the HOA, demanding they revoke all fines and threats, warning that any further harassment would mean a lawsuit for malicious prosecution and abuse of process. She also files a formal complaint with the county about the improper boundary amendment. Oklahoma law requires a certified notice to affected landowners when boundaries are changed. I never received one. That alone makes the annexation void. Here's your first knowledge nugget. If your HOA tries to expand its territory, check your state's statutes. Most require proper notice, and without it, the change is legally unenforceable. Vera's reaction is immediate. Ramon hears she's called an emergency board meeting that very afternoon. Her spin? A squatter is attacking our authority with frivolous legal threats. If we back down, everyone will stop paying dues. The board, 4 nervous yes-men terrified of her, vote to pursue all legal remedies. Translation: they're doubling down. 2 days later, I'm in the hardware store when Travis and Mallory Kent spot me. Mallory's holding their toddler. Travis looks beat. "Mason, we heard you got a lawyer. Can she help us too?" Turns out 9 families are drowning in HOA fines. One elderly couple's facing foreclosure over a $12,000 lien that began as $400 in late fees. I realize this is bigger than me. Vera's running a racket on 127 households. That night, Ramon and I sit on my porch with beers. You know what Vera's problem is? I say. She's got HOA president syndrome, like mall cop energy, but with a gavel and vengeance. Ramon chuckles. Nah, man, she's got yacht club energy in a kiddie pool subdivision. Thinks she's running the Hamptons, but it's Tulsa and nobody's impressed. We're still laughing when my phone buzzes. An unknown number. A photo of my truck parked at Home Depot earlier that day. Caption, "We're watching." I show Elena. She tells me to install cameras immediately. But here's the truth. I've faced real threats overseas, IEDs, ambushes, people who genuinely wanted me gone. This suburban power trip doesn't scare me, but it does piss me off. Week 7, the HOA files a lawsuit in county court, a declaratory judgment to enforce covenants. Their angle? Even if my land was outside the original boundary, the corrected plat map filed 6 months ago makes it legally binding. They've hired Conrad Trimble, a strip mall attorney in his 60s who wins by intimidation and default judgments. Guy probably advertises on bus benches. Elena counters with a motion to dismiss and a fraud counterclaim. Discovery begins. She subpoenas HOA financial records, board minutes, everything. And that's when it gets interesting. The corrected plat map was never properly noticed. Oklahoma law demands certified mail to landowners, and I got nothing. That makes the annexation null. Second knowledge nugget, always check if legal notices were properly served. Improper service can wipe out contracts, liens, even lawsuits. But Vera doesn't care about the law. She wants domination. The harassment escalates. HOA inspectors start showing up to photograph my property every 2 weeks. One morning, I wake up to orange code violation stickers plastered on my mailbox, garage, even my truck. The adhesive smells like spite, leaving residue that takes 20 minutes and half a can of WD-40 to remove. Ramon catches one of them on camera standing on my trash cans to photograph over my fence, trespassing. I install 6 cameras, upload everything to the cloud, and start a Google Doc logging every contact, timestamped and cross-referenced. Elena says, "Discovery's beautiful. Let's see how clean their hands are." Spoiler, they're filthy. Her paralegal uncovers $140,000 missing from HOA financials. Vague line items. Administrative fees. Community enhancement consulting. Cross-check the minutes. Vera's LLC was paid $18,000 for property management, even though the HOA already paid a management company. This isn't petty power, it's theft. Mallory hosts a secret backyard meeting. 11 families show up with horror stories. A $3,000 fine for solar panels, even though state law protects them. An elderly widower threatened with foreclosure over $400 that ballooned to $6,000. I suggest forming a coalition, maybe a class action. Elena, attending quietly, says, "I can work with this." Vera hears about the meeting. One attendee's spouse is on the board. Emergency vote. Anyone organizing against the HOA gets special assessment fees of $1,000 a month until compliance. The next day, I get that notice. So do the Kents and 4 others. Extortion disguised as procedure. Late one night, my doorbell camera catches someone spray painting deadbeat across my garage. The footage shows a white Lexus RX in the background, plate partly visible. I send clips to Elena and Sergeant Delgado. Delgado replies, "That's vandalism. File a report. I'll increase patrols." I file it. Upgrade to 24/7 monitoring. The chemical smell of the paint clings as I scrub it off next morning, the rough garage texture catching on the rag with every pass. My daughter texts, "Dad, are you okay? Mom says you're in some legal fight." I downplay it, but inside, I'm livid. Vera's games are bleeding into my family's life. I'm up at 3 a.m., cross-referencing documents. Sleep's optional now. Then Elena calls. "Mason, I've been digging into property transactions in Maple Ridge. You need to see this." She sends a spreadsheet. 3 foreclosed homes bought at auction by Vera's LLC and relatives of board members, all 40–50% below market. The pattern's clear. Families fined, foreclosed, properties flipped for profit. This isn't just embezzlement, it's a calculated racket. Elena files an amended counterclaim, adds federal RICO allegations, and alerts the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission. Vera's license could be revoked. Strategic pivot. Elena says, "Let's go public. Civil cases drag, but media pressure moves fast." I hesitate. Ex-military, private guy, hate attention. Mallory volunteers. "I'm a freelance journalist, let me pitch the Tulsa Tribune." Vera finds out about it, calls another emergency meeting. Motion to settle. Drop all fines, remove liens. If I sign an NDA and release all claims. Trimble delivers via Zoom. "Your client should take this. Discovery gets ugly for everyone." I laugh. "Tell Vera I don't negotiate with con artists. See you in court." Elena smiles. Settlement offers mean she's scared. That night, Ramon comes by with beer. "You know what's wild?" he says. "Vera runs this HOA like a cartel, but she probably thinks she's the hero." I take a sip. "Every villain does, Ramon. Every villain does." My phone buzzes. Certified letter notification. Not from the HOA, but from a title company. Notice of foreclosure sale. Maple Ridge Estates. HOA common property. My engineering brain kicks in. The HOA itself is being foreclosed on by the bank holding a $1.2 million construction loan from 2019. Payments haven't been made in 18 months. Auction in 30 days. I grab my laptop and pull records. If the HOA loses its common property, what happens to its legal authority? I call Elena. "I just figured out how to buy the HOA." Week 10. The HOA slaps a lien on my land even though the annexation's under dispute. Trimble claims it's standard procedure during litigation. The judge allows it temporarily, meaning I can't refinance or sell. My equity's frozen. Vera's playing financial hostage taker. The real damage, though, is psychological. She launches a whisper campaign telling neighbors I'm litigious and toxic, posting in the Maple Ridge private Facebook group. Reminder, unpaid dues hurt everyone. She never names me, doesn't have to. Neighbors who used to wave now avoid eye contact. My son calls. "Dad, Mom says you're in legal trouble." I deflect, but inside I'm furious. Sleep becomes optional again. I'm up at 3 a.m., mapping strategy over endless coffee. So I do what engineers do, analyze. I pull county records on every Maple Ridge transaction for the past 5 years. Cross-reference dates, buyers, and prices. The pattern's surgical. Families fined, can't pay, foreclosed. Insiders buy cheap, flip for huge margins. This isn't mismanagement, it's organized fraud. I call Elena at 6 a.m. If we prove conspiracy, that's federal RICO. Mail fraud, wire fraud, the works. She files an amended counterclaim immediately and alerts the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission. Vera's license goes under investigation. Third knowledge nugget. RICO laws aren't just for mobsters. If someone's running a pattern of fraud through an organization, even an HOA, federal racketeering laws apply. That turns civil suits into criminal exposure. Elena's advice, go public. Civil courts crawl, but media pressure burns fast. I hesitate, hate attention, but Mallory's ready. "Let me pitch this. The Tribune will love it." I agree. Vera catches wind that we've traced the foreclosure pattern. She calls an emergency meeting. Motion to settle again. Drop all fines, remove liens, clean slate. If I sign an NDA. Trimble's voice is weary on Zoom. "Mr. Hollander, you should consider this. Discovery gets ugly for everyone." I stare at the camera. "Tell Vera I don't bargain with crooks. See you in court." Elena grins. Settlement offers mean she's cornered. We organize another community meeting. 22 families this time, double the first. The VFW hall smells of stale coffee and floor polish. Folding chairs squeak as people lean forward, hungry for hope. Elena explains it plain. If we prove the foreclosure scheme was intentional, we might void those sales, get people their homes back. One elderly woman starts crying. "I lost my house 2 years ago. Thought I was alone." I stand. "You're not alone. None of us are." Ramon nods in back. Travis takes notes. Mallory records audio. It feels less like a meeting, more like a reckoning. Later that night, Ramon texts me a screenshot. Fake Facebook profile. Maple truth teller, posting lies. Mason Hollander is a con man working with out-of-state investors to seize homes. Photoshopped documents, fake LLC names, spreading fast. My phone blows up with confused messages. Travis traces the IP in under an hour to Vera's home network. Mallory writes a follow-up piece. HOA president behind fake social media smear campaign. Screenshots, metadata, the works. Facebook deletes the account within hours. Vera's credibility collapses, but that means one thing. She's desperate. Morning of the auction hearing, 7:15 a.m. I'm on my porch with coffee when Vera's Lexus pulls up. She steps out. No makeup, hair unkempt. The first time I've seen her without her armor. 2 board members hover behind her. Mason, please, I'll resign. We'll drop everything, just don't buy the property. Let someone neutral take it. Her voice cracks. I set down my coffee. Neutral? Like your buddies who'd flip it for profit. She's trembling. You don't understand. If you do this, I lose everything. My reputation, my license, my business. I look her in the eye. You should have thought of that before you turned this neighborhood into your ATM. The morning air is crisp. Courthouse limestone still damp from last night's rain. Vera's perfume, usually suffocating, is gone. She smells like burnt coffee and fear. At 7:45, 2 men in suits approach. One's Trimble's son, another built like a bouncer. You sure you want to do this? The son mutters. People who pick the wrong fights see their business dry up. Permits delayed. Clients vanish. I square up. Are you threatening me on courthouse property? In front of witnesses? Ramon's nearby, a phone recording. Yeah, are you? They back off fast. Just friendly advice, one mumbles before leaving. Elena files a harassment complaint that afternoon. 8 a.m. sharp. Auction begins. The auctioneer reads the legal description, voice echoing off marble walls. Opening bid, $850,000. I raise my paddle. 875. Silence. No other bidders. Going once, twice. This is illegal, Vera yells. He's not even in the HOA. The auctioneer doesn't blink. Ma'am, this is a public auction. Anyone can bid. Gavel hits. Sold to bidder 7 for $875,000. I hand over the cashier's check, accept the deed, step outside as TV crews swarm. How does it feel? One asks. Feels like justice, I say. Standing on those courthouse steps, deed in hand, I realize what I've just done, and why it changes everything. Maple Ridge's common areas, clubhouse, pool, playground, entry signs, storm ponds, were all owned by the HOA entity, 22 acres. But here's the secret. In 2019, when the developer went bankrupt mid-project, the HOA took out that $1.2 million loan to finish amenities, secured by those same lands. They defaulted. The bank foreclosed quietly, non-judicial, just public notice and sale. Most homeowners had no clue. I call Elena from my truck. So I own all the HOA's land now. What does that mean? She's typing already. You own the common property, not the HOA's power. But Oklahoma law lets the owner of the common property dissolve an HOA if it's insolvent. They're bankrupt, Mason. Defaulted loan, judgments, missing funds. You can petition for dissolution. I can almost hear her grin. And we'll deed the land to a new community land trust. Nonprofit, transparent, homeowner run. Problem. I need $875,000. I've got $200,000 cash. I call my brother Caleb, a developer in Texas. I need a bridge loan, $400,000. Fast. Pause. What's the play? I lay it out. He laughs. That's the most Mason thing I've ever heard. I'm in. That leaves $275,000. Mallory's article drops in the Tulsa Tribune next day. HOA president accused of fraud as neighborhood faces foreclosure. It goes viral. Local TV picks it up. Then, Oklahoma City, Reddit front page. I start a GoFundMe. Save Maple Ridge. Stop HOA corruption. Goal. $250,000. In 72 hours, we hit $180,000. Donations flood in nationwide. People who fought their own HOA wars. People who hate injustice. People who see themselves in this story. Vera sees the article. Her phone explodes. Board members resign. Homeowners demand her removal. She calls emergency meetings to stop the auction, but the bank controls it now. Trimble quits. I don't represent criminals. Find someone else. Elena connects me with a non-profit lawyer specializing in community land trusts. Together, we draft the Maple Commons Trust. Mission: maintain shared spaces, uphold reasonable standards, no cosmetic tyranny, total transparency. 7 elected board seats, 2-year terms, open meetings streamed online. The HOA flipped on its head. Here's your next knowledge nugget. Community land trusts, CLTs, are legal structures where land is owned collectively and managed democratically. They prevent both HOA abuse and gentrification. Google the CLT model for your state. The auctions in 18 days. Financings lined up. Legal strategy locked. The community's rallying, but Elena warns. She's cornered now. Cornered animals are dangerous. I nod. Yeah, the most dangerous moment in any fight is right before your enemy breaks. 2 days later, I'm in my workshop when my phone buzzes. Detective Morales from the DA's office. Mr. Hollander, we've reviewed the evidence your attorney submitted. We're issuing a warrant for Vera Kingsley's arrest. Felony embezzlement, fraud, and perjury. Do you know where she is? I don't. She disappeared after the auction. Her house is up for sale, listed 50 grand below market. Morales says, we'll find her. In the meantime, stay alert. People staring at prison time get unpredictable. I upgrade my cameras again, 24/7's monitoring. Ramon offers to keep watch. The court hearings tomorrow, the dissolution petition. Vera's been notified. I doubt she'll show, but if she does, I'll be ready. The next 48 hours are pure logistics. I'm not fighting alone anymore. I've got a team, each bringing something crucial. Elena handles legal paperwork, auction documents, dissolution filings, and the trust coordination. Her strategy is surgical: prove the HOA's debts exceed assets, show embezzlement, and demonstrate homeowner support for dissolution. Oklahoma Statute. Title 47, Section 11, 109 allows dissolution when the common property owner petitions and the HOA is insolvent. The law's on our side. Mallory runs media and outreach. 2 follow-up stories published, a documentary producer from California calling, and social media buzzing. Each share draws more donors. Ramon is boots-on-the-ground intelligence, tracking board reactions, calming neighbors, and making sure I eat something besides caffeine. Travis Kent runs tech, builds a secure site for the trust with transparent budgeting, open meeting archives, and live-streamed sessions. He manages the GoFundMe and encrypts coalition communication. My brother Caleb wires the $400,000 loan and advises on asset protection post-purchase. Even Sergeant Delgado checks in. If she deletes files or moves money, that's obstruction. Keep documenting. Our legal game plan is straightforward. Step 1. I won the auction. I own the common property. Step 2. Elena files a motion proving insolvency. Defaulted $1.2 million loan, $200,000 in judgments, $250,000 embezzled. Step 3. Petition to dissolve the HOA. Judge appoints a receiver to wind down affairs. Step 4. Deed the land to the Maple Commons Trust for $1. A nonprofit governed by homeowners. 1 home, 1 vote, no proxies. Takeaway. In many states, an insolvent HOA is a house of cards. 1 well-aimed push and it collapses. Research your state's nonprofit dissolution laws. You might have more leverage than you think. We prepare for Vera's sabotage. Elena warns she'll try to wipe data, hide funds, or obstruct court orders. Travis scrapes the HOA website through the Wayback Machine, archiving every document. Elena subpoenas bank statements before she can transfer anything. Mallory interviews 3 former board members, gets affidavits confirming Vera's scheme. Community readiness is key. I rent the VFW hall for 3 town halls that week. Attendance grows. 50 families the first night, then 80, then over 100. I lay out the roadmap. Once the HOA dissolves, dues drop to zero until the new trust takes over. Then we vote on reasonable fees, around $45 a month for pool, landscaping, and insurance. No more fines for lawn ornaments or mailbox colors. No more Vera. The VFW hall smells like coffee and optimism. Folding chairs squeak, but people actually smile again, asking questions instead of venting. One older man raises his hand. What if an investor outbid you? Honestly, I say, they'd have jacked fees or sold everything off. We got lucky, but luck only matters when you're ready. We talk practicalities. What happens after dissolution? The HOA ceases to exist. The trust takes ownership. What if a speculator had won the auction? Likely exploitation. How to vote for dissolution? Simple majority once insolvency's proven. The room is full of people who've spent years feeling trapped, now realizing change is possible. One woman stands. My husband and I almost lost our home over $1,800 in fines. We stopped sleeping, stopped talking to neighbors. You gave us our lives back. Her voice breaks. I don't have words, just nod. Ramon claps my shoulder. This is why we fight. We also share lessons learned. Knowledge nugget 2. Foreclosure auctions. Most folks don't realize non-judicial foreclosures in states like Oklahoma, Texas, California, and Arizona don't require lawsuits, just public notice. You can literally buy property on courthouse steps with a cashier's check. Research trustee sale for your state. Knowledge nugget 3. Community land trusts. Collective, nonprofit land ownership that ensures democracy and prevents abuse. Look up CLT model in your region. The night before the hearing, I'm in my workshop, the lathe humming softly. I'm not shaping anything, just letting my hands move, my brain calm. I think about why I'm really doing this, not revenge. Not even about Vera anymore. It's about systems. Systems should protect people, not crush them. My ex used to say I'm too mission-focused. Maybe. But this mission matters. I text my kids. Big day tomorrow. Wish me luck. My daughter replies, Dad, we're proud of you. Go be the hero we know you are. My son sends a Captain America gif. I grin. Ramon shows up with beer. For after the hearing, he says, win or lose. I crack one. If we lose, I'll need something stronger. He laughs. Got tequila in the truck, brother. Hearings at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I've got notes, documents, and a team. Vera's been invited, but I doubt she'll face the music. Still, Elena's ready if she does. One thought keeps circling in my mind, though. Elena's warning. Cornered animals are dangerous. Vera's staring down prison, bankruptcy, and public humiliation. What's her move? I double-check my locks, my cameras, and keep my phone by the bed. From experience, I know. The most dangerous moment in any fight is right before your enemy realizes they've lost. And tomorrow, Vera is going to realize exactly that. 4 p.m., the day before the hearing, Elena calls. Trimble just filed an emergency injunction on behalf of concerned homeowners. He's trying to delay the dissolution, claiming it violates property rights. I glance at my watch. How fast can you get to the courthouse? She's already driving. Hearing at 6. Under the fluorescent buzz of Judge Vickers' chambers, Trimble shows up exhausted. Turns out he never actually quit, just told Vera he had while still cashing her checks. His argument is chaos. Claims the trust violates non-existent covenants, cites Arizona case law that doesn't even apply in Oklahoma. Elena dismantles him in 10 minutes flat. Your Honor, this is transparent stalling by defendants facing fraud charges. The bank had every right to foreclose. Mr. Hollander had every right to bid. This delay serves no purpose except to prolong abuse. Judge Vickers, mid-50s, former public defender with zero patience, peers over her glasses. Counsel, your injunction is denied. This court will not interfere with a lawful foreclosure. We're adjourned. Gavel slams. The metal echo follows Vera out as she storms off. That night, another fake Facebook profile surfaces. Maple Truth Teller, same name as before. Posts flood the community page. Mason Hollander is a con man working with California investors to gentrify the neighborhood. Doctored LLC documents, fake signatures, my phone lights up. Travis traces the IP again, Vera's home network. Mallory writes a story within hours. HOA president behind fake smear campaign. Screenshots, metadata, timestamps. Facebook deletes the account by morning. Vera's reputation is rubble. 7:15 a.m. Hearing day. I'm on my porch when her Lexus pulls up. She steps out. No makeup, hair disheveled, 2 board members trailing her like hostages. "Mason, please," she says, voice trembling. "I'll resign. We'll drop everything, just don't go through with this. Let someone neutral buy the property." I set down my mug. "Neutral? Like your LLC friends who'd flip it for profit? No." Her hands shake. "You don't understand. If you do this, I lose everything. My license, my career." I meet her eyes. "You should have thought about that before you turned 127 families into your paycheck." She looks gutted, turns away, and drives off slowly, like she's heading to her own funeral. 7:45 a.m. Courthouse steps. 2 men in suits block my path, Trimble's son and a heavy-set associate. The son leans in low. "You sure about this? People who pick the wrong fights see their business dry up. Permits delayed, clients vanish, understand?" I don't flinch. "Are you threatening me on courthouse property? In front of witnesses? Ramon's already recording." "Yeah, are you?" They trade nervous glances, realize they miscalculated, and back off. "Just advice." Elena files a harassment complaint before we even step inside. The courtroom's packed. 60 homeowners, 3 TV crews, Mallory live tweeting. The energy is electric. Our side, Elena, the nonprofit lawyer, Caleb, Ramon, Travis, and 20 homeowners. HOA side, 3 board members sitting alone at an empty table. 9 a.m. sharp, Judge Vickers enters. We rise. Then the doors burst open. Vera walks in with a young lawyer, can't be older than 28, black suit, oversized sunglasses, hair in a severe bun. They sit. She avoids everyone's eyes. The tension is heavy, like before a thunderstorm. Elena presents the dissolution petition with precision. Point 1. The HOA is insolvent. $1.2 million loan defaulted. 0 assets, $240,000 stolen. Point 2. Fraud confirmed through forensic audit. Point 3. Common property now belongs to Mr. Hollander. Under Oklahoma statute, dissolution is warranted. Relief requested. Dissolve the HOA, appoint receiver, authorize homeowner vote. The new lawyer stands, voice shaking. Your Honor, my client denies these allegations. She's a devoted community servant. This is a vendetta by Mr. Hollander. Judge Vickers raises an eyebrow. Do you have any evidence refuting the audit? We're preparing our own audit. You've had 7 days' notice. Where is it? It's forthcoming. The judge sighs. Sit down. Then Vera stands abruptly, ignoring her attorney's protests. Your Honor, may I speak? The judge hesitates, then nods. Vera's voice rises, cracking. This is a sham. Mason orchestrated this from day one. He never belonged in our HOA, and now he's stealing our neighborhood because the courts are rigged. Murmurs ripple through the gallery. The gavel bangs. Miss Kingsley, you are not under oath, but I suggest you stop. No, she shouts. Somebody has to say it. I gave 3 years to that community. I worked 60-hour weeks. If I took compensation, I earned it. These people don't understand what it's like to run things. The side door opens. Detective Morales steps in with a uniformed officer. He approaches the bench, hands the judge a document. She reads, then looks at Vera. Miss Kingsley, there's an active warrant for your arrest. Detective, proceed. The courtroom freezes. Morales' voice is calm. Vera Kingsley, you're under arrest for felony embezzlement, fraud in the 2nd degree, and perjury. You have the right to remain silent. Vera's face drains white. You can't. I have rights, she yells, voice cracking. Her lawyer sinks in his chair. The officer cuffs her gently, the metallic click echoing like a full stop to a long sentence. You did this, she screams at me. You ruined my life. I'll appeal. You'll regret. The door closes behind her. Silence follows. Judge Vickers adjusts her glasses. Well, that was instructive. Nervous laughter ripples through the gallery. Having reviewed all evidence, financial records, and testimony, this court finds Maple Ridge Estates HOA demonstrably insolvent and engaged in systematic fraud. The petition for dissolution is granted. Miss Park is appointed receiver to wind down operations. Homeowner ratification vote within 30 days. Mr. Hollander's counterclaims for harassment and malicious prosecution are granted. Damages hearing to follow. Gavel strikes. Adjourned. The room erupts. Not chaos, but catharsis. Applause, hugs, tears. A woman who lost her home grips my arm. You gave me hope again. Elena's grinning, already coordinating next steps. Ramon bear hugs me. Brother, you took down an empire. Caleb laughs. Mallory's typing furiously. Outside, reporters swarm. Mr. Hollander, how does it feel? This isn't about winning, I say. It's about 127 families getting their neighborhood back, making sure no one else gets crushed by corrupt bureaucracy. What's next for Maple Ridge? Another asks. We're forming a community land trust, transparent, democratic, accountable, the way it should have been. Any message for others dealing with HOA abuse? I look straight into a camera. Document everything, every letter, every call. Find allies. You're not alone. Don't back down just because they have lawyers. Bullies count on silence. Make noise. A cruiser rolls past. Vera in the back seat, tears streaking down her face. I don't watch. I turn toward the homeowners, people shaking my hand, thanking me. The courthouse plaza smells of hot limestone and victory. Ramon grins. Hollywood couldn't write an ending like that. I laugh. Maybe not, but this one's real. That evening, I'm back on my porch, the same one Vera once threatened with a lien. My daughter calls. Dad, you're everywhere. You okay? I watch the sunset over my workshop. Better than okay, sweetheart. I'm free. We all are. Across the street, the Kent's kids are playing tag in their yard, laughter echoing where fear used to live. A neighbor I barely knew waves for the first time. But Vera's arrest isn't the end. It's just the beginning of cleanup. Over the next 2 weeks, the investigation deepens. Detective Morales uncovers that the board members who bought foreclosed homes used HOA funds to finance their bids, a closed loop of corruption. 2 board members are arrested. The third flips, becomes a state witness. Local media run daily updates. Former HOA president faces 10 years for fraud. Families regain homes in landmark case. The story goes national. CNN, NPR, headlines across the country. I do one NPR interview, then step back. This isn't about me, I tell Elena. It's about everyone who's been steamrolled by systems like this. Elena files motions to void the fraudulent foreclosure sales. The court agrees. 3 families regain their homes with clean titles. Vera's LLC and the complicit board members are ordered to surrender all profits. $240,000 split among victims. I'm there when one elderly widow gets her keys back. She cries, saying, I thought I'd die homeless. Thank you. Mallory's documentary, The HOA That Collapsed Itself, goes viral on YouTube, hitting 2.3 million views in a week. Comments pour in from across the country. This happened in Phoenix. Our HOA did the same thing. How do we fight back? It sparks a movement. 3 other Oklahoma neighborhoods use our template to dissolve corrupt HOAs. The state legislature drafts the HOA Transparency Act, requiring open meetings, annual audits, and capping late fees. Some call it Mason's Law, though Elena deserves most of the credit. 30 days after the hearing, homeowners gather for the ratification vote at the clubhouse, the same one Vera once used for her private real estate showings. 119 out of 127 homes participate. The vote, 114 in favor, 5 against. The HOA officially ceases to exist. A month later, we host a town hall, not in a courtroom or a rented hall, but right there in the newly renamed Maple Commons Hall. Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m., the parking lot overflowing. Families bring lawn chairs, local reporters film, and for once, people are smiling. I take the podium. 3 months ago, I just wanted peace. A place to work, a quiet life. Instead, I got fines, threats, and a police call on my own driveway. But here's what I learned. When systems are broken, you don't fix them by asking nicely. You fix them by building something better. I click the projector. The old HOA's financials flash up. Names redacted, numbers intact. You paid $385 a month, I say. Here's where it went. $18,000 to Vera's LLC for unnecessary management. $47,000 in legal fees to fight homeowners. $140,000 missing. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Then I flip to the new budget. $45 a month, that's it. Pool, landscaping, insurance, small reserve fund. No salaries. Every dollar posted online. Every meeting live-streamed, every expense public. Applause swells, building into a standing ovation. The new rules appear next. No cosmetic fines, no intimidation, no weaponized bylaws. If something's unsafe, we fix it together, I say. No more policing your neighbors. More cheers. An older man asks, "What about the families who lost their homes?" Elena steps forward. They've been restored. Titles cleared. Damages paid. The room explodes in applause. The widow waves, crying as the crowd stands again. Travis announces the Maple Opportunity Fund, a scholarship for neighborhood kids funded by the $75,000 I donated from my damages award. 2 $5,000 scholarships a year, renewable for 4 years. Parents tear up, then Mallory speaks. This story isn't ending here. 43 HOAs nationwide have reached out for help. We're building a resource hub with legal templates and guides. Everything we learned, free for anyone. We introduced the new trust board, 7 elected residents. A teacher, a nurse, a mechanic, a small business owner, a stay-at-home dad, an engineer, and a college student home for summer. Real people, diverse and grounded. They get standing applause. I close with this. 4 months ago, Vera said I didn't belong here. She was wrong. We all belong here. And now, finally, this neighborhood belongs to us. The roar that follows shakes the walls. Afterward, no one leaves right away. Someone fires up a grill. Someone else brings coolers. And the clubhouse that once symbolized control becomes a block party. Ramon clinks his bottle against mine. You did good, brother. I shake my head. We did good. He grins. To freedom from petty tyrants. I smile. And to never becoming one. 30 days later, the Maple Commons Trust is fully operational. The first board meeting live streams to 120 viewers. Dues set at $45 a month. An 88% cut. Every cosmetic rule repealed. Paint your house purple if you want. Fill your yard with gnomes. No one cares. The new community garden breaks ground. 2 acres open to everyone, producing hundreds of pounds of food for the Tulsa Food Bank. A Vietnam veteran plants a memorial rose garden. Kids water it after school. The first scholarships go out in May. A nursing student and a boy who wants to study engineering. I attend the ceremony. And yeah, I cry. Vera pleads guilty in July to avoid trial. 3 years in state prison. $240,000 restitution. 5 years probation. License revoked. Her house sells at foreclosure for 60% of its value. The buyers, a young couple with a toddler, say they're just happy to live in a neighborhood without an HOA. The irony isn't lost on anyone. The paper runs a front-page photo. Vera's mugshot beside the blooming community garden. The contrast says it all. 2 of her board allies get 18 months each. The third, who testified, gets probation. All 3 are banned from HOA service for life. The state's HOA Transparency Act passes with bipartisan support that November. More neighborhoods dissolve abusive HOAs using our model, first in Oklahoma, then Texas, Arizona, and Colorado. Mallory's documentary gets picked up for streaming. She asks if I'll do another interview. I decline. The story belongs to everyone now. My workshop's finally done. I teach weekend metalwork classes for neighborhood kids. My son visited last month. We built a bookshelf together. My daughter came for Thanksgiving. Dad, she said, you found your purpose after the army. Maybe she's right. The legal defense fund I started with $25,000 has grown to $70,000 in donations. We've helped 4 families nationwide save their homes from predatory HOAs. One woman from Phoenix emails. They tried to foreclose over $400 in dues. We fought back and won. Thank you. Ramon and I still share beers on my porch most evenings, watching the neighborhood breathe again. Kids play, neighbors talk. Systems serve people, not the other way around. One night he asks, "Any regrets? The stress, the threats, the sleepless nights?" I think about it. Not for a second. Spring arrives. The 150-year-old oak in my yard blooms again. Its branches don't creak like a ship anymore. They sway quietly, like they're finally at peace. I'm sitting under it one Saturday when a car pulls up. A young couple steps out. "Are you Mason Hollander?" the woman asks. I nod. "We just bought a house 3 blocks over. Our realtor said you're the reason this place doesn't have an HOA. We wanted to say thank you." I shake their hands. "Welcome to Maple Commons. You're going to love it here." As they drive off, I realize this is what victory truly looks like. Not courtroom drama, not a villain in cuffs, though those help. Real victory is simple. Families living without fear, kids playing without citations, neighbors trusting each other again. I came here to build a workshop and find peace. I got both. And something better. A community worth fighting for. So here's my question to you. Have you ever faced an HOA nightmare? Share your story in the comments. You're not alone. Together, maybe we can stop the next Vera before she wrecks another neighborhood. And if you want more stories about ordinary people standing up to corrupt systems, hit subscribe. Next time, a Florida homeowner who uncovered her HOA president's Ponzi scheme. You won't believe what she did about it.